Okay, so my internet went out. I don't know why, but I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to post this as I don't know. Y'all got a good view of my pores, didn't you? All right, so here we go. So I've come back and I was drawing a blue bonnet. I've drawn some things and we're going to watercolor them, and I've drawn them in marker previously and talked previously, so hopefully this will suffice till I figure out what happened. Every day is new, isn't it? Every day is new. So I'm going to stretch it a little closer. Can't zoom in when you're in this mode. Of course not. Sure. So I'm making these little beans over here to the side. I said they were kidney beans, jelly beans, whatever they were. And this is what the beans of the blue bonnet look like, the little bubbles out to the side. And so I'm going to make a few of those out here. And they're smaller towards the top, just like any other flower. The older ones are darker. And I'm making a few extra here, and I've got some overlap happening. And how many do you make? I don't know. You have to listen to your inner artist. You have to listen to that inner artist. That inner artist will tell you what to do. Okay, so there is my blue bonnet. Now, a blue bonnet has some stems out here to the side, and they have flowers, and each one of those flowers are, try this again. Those words were not right. Each one of those leaves have 5, sometimes 4, 5 leaf marks like this. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, I think I would just say that they are sad face, happy face, sad face, happy face, sad face, happy face, sad face, happy face, sad face, happy face. They're pretty, aren't they? This one over here has some lacy, just kind of scribbles. Does that look like a scribble? I think so. And you know what? Sometimes if I want to scribble in, here's what I do. I just put my pen in the other hand. If I put it in the other hand, I automatically get scribbly. It's true. Don't be afraid to try that. Now these leaves up here, I'm trying to remember for the life of me. I think they've got some pretty big, yeah, something like this, kind of big. Okay. And I just did a few of those in there. Remember, we're just giving us a taste of the watercolor. Now, you're going, what kind of watercolor should I buy? Okay, they're tube watercolors. They're lovely and wonderful. They can be squirted out on a plate like this and made into a palette. And the only thing you have to do to get them going again is get them wet. You could have a spray bottle. There are so many options, and I just say it again, so many options with every kind of art material you can imagine. Okay, every kind of art material you can imagine. But we're just going to start on this first one, okay? So here goes. I am going to look for my brushes. There they are. You know, what brushes do you use? I can use these brushes, or I can use my watercolor brushes like this. This is my favorite kind of watercolor brush. My favorite kind of watercolor brush is one that fill up with water. Did you see it? Fills up with water, and then it kind of acts like a gas tank and keeps this part moist and full of water. If you squeeze it, the water will come out, and it just keeps it going, keeps it flowing. And the first word in watercolor is water. Water. So what do you need a lot of? I'm just saying it with you. Water. So water is what we want to paint these with. You can also get a set of watercolor paints like this. Okay? You can have 8, you can have 24, whatever is in your budget. You do you. You know my rule. And so you could use these, you could use these, you could use both kinds. You pick whichever suits your budget best. I realize none of us know how this is going to impact us financially. So I would suggest start small. You can always go up. Try it out. And where's my water to wash brushes with? Man, I miss my friend Beth more than she knows. This is ugly water. I don't want this. I miss you, Beth. Okay, so you don't have to use bottled water. I just don't want y'all to run away from me. So I'm going to use bottled water and this beautiful glass. Okay, this is a glass that we did with some friends the other night at a paint pour with an adult paint pour. Now, you know, I have to tell you, when you say the word adult paint pour, people get weird. And Facebook got weird on me because I wrote the word adult watercolor. So no longer do I write adult watercolor. I write or say or breathe watercolor for adults. Yeah. I don't know. It's you know, you just have to behave. You just have to. It's the rules. Now, this looks kind of messy to you, I'm sure. To me, it doesn't look messy at all. Your children, they freak out when they see these. I just tell them, too bad. You'll get over it. Dirty palettes happen. How do you clean a dirty palette? That's a lesson towards the end. I'll show you at the end. But I am going to wake these up just a minute. I have the tools. So I'm going to wake them up with just a little spritz of water. Do you see that? I wake up my watercolors. If you spritz it over here by your painting, there's a good chance you're going to have it wet. And that's wet on wet. That's another technique. We'll do that. But right now, we're just going to go with watercoloring it in. I'm going to put my brush in the lightest blue I've got. And I'm going to go over here to these. And I'm going to give them just a little kiss. You don't have to give it much. Just give it a little kiss of blue. Remember what it's called. It's called watercolor. And so then I'm going to go to a little bit darker blue. And I've washed out my brush and I go over. And then I'm going to just, oh so lightly. It's kind of like coloring in the boxes because I used the black first. Don't stress. Man, I'm sad that I couldn't stay on live. I hope y'all join me and see the rest of this. But there they are. Beautiful little blue flowers. Aren't they gorgeous? And then I rinse it out. Occasionally, I don't sling paint in water. I go ahead and dab it out on my washcloth. And I'm scooting over. Let that puppy dry. Art makes you have patience. Scoot away. Step away from the painting. If you got too much, could use toilet paper. I'm going to use paper towels. If you got too much, you just take a little sliver, lay it on there, and don't rub. But rubbing is bad unless you want it. Just press down, pick it back up. Look how light those got. So if you get too dark, and you can also use it as like a sponge, and it sucks it right up. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to my yellow. I kind of like a little darker yellow, I think, on this one. Yeah, I do. And then I'm going to put in some yellow. Now this is a dry paper with a mostly heavy loaded brush. And I'm sort of heavy loading half of my flowers. I could go ahead and heavy load all of them because guess what? Even if it dries, all you have to do to wake them back up is add a little water. Okay? So I'm just gently adding a little yellow in that space. I've got some bubbles because my paper is tilted up. If it was flat, it wouldn't have these little drippy doos. Keep your paper flat. Mine is up because this is the first watercolor video I've ever done, and I have no idea. I'm waiting for Roger Porter to give me some advice. And there's several others of you that might be out in the world that I taught you. Now you teach me. Give me some advice. Free, of course. I'm kidding. Well, no, I'm not really, but do what you do and I'll do what I do. Can y'all write that on my tombstone? Let's not talk about it. Moving on to the purple. Do you see all the different colors in there? Yeah. So we want to put in a little purple. Just kind of dance it around. I would be listening to 70s if I didn't have to pay royalties. Y'all don't know what all goes into my brain. I'm trying to explain that sometimes you have to add a couple of different values of it, which is another word for colors. That's looking pretty cute. Now, rinsing it back out. I'm telling you, watercolor, simple watercolor. There are many, many, many facets and layers to watercolor. I want to go through all of them with you, but this one is an easy one. Do it. Just do it. What's it going to hurt? Nothing. Now, I've got some leaves. I could make them darker, or look how light that is. Maybe I like that light stuff. I might even put a few over here. Maybe they need some nitrogen in there. Isn't that looking adorable already? I'm saying, watercolor doesn't have to have a lot of color. It has to have a lot of water because it's watercolor. Now, I've washed it out. I've touched it to my paper towel. And I'm going to go back up here and look. That one that dried, I can just add a little water and it goes right in. But to be the artist that we all are, pinkies up. Take it over here to the side and add a little orange. Oh my goodness, isn't that beautiful? It's my signature. Wave to the neighbors. Wave to the neighbors in that other color right there. Look at those. Now, I leave sometimes some white paper showing through. Every artist does. Been doing it my whole life. I started teaching in 1985, and I have always said that. Ask my students. I have some paintings over here that say that. It's not a new concept. We just have to do it. That's just what artists do. So if you accidentally leave some of your paper and don't paint on it, that's fine. Ooh, look, that's getting ready to make a little drip. So I'm going to go there. Capture. Whoop. Capture. Whoop. Be careful not to use the same one. I just made a faux pas on video. Write it down. And if you transfer it, it will sometimes leave a mark out here to the side. So you need a new one. Look how quickly this is coming along. Now, I'm loving it still, but I think those leaves need a little bit darker green. Maybe. Ooh, there's a drop of water came off my finger. Slurp. Sharpie is a wonderful tool. The reason that Sharpie is a wonderful tool is because it doesn't bleed. If you're using a non-permanent paint marker or pen, it possibly will bleed. If it does bleed, let that be part of the piece. Don't flip and say I messed up. say, I meant for it to be that way. Henri Rousseau used to say that. He's an artist, an old artist. I'm going in here and getting some of this colored up too. These are so cute. I'm really digging this. Now, I don't have, if you looked at this, I'm missing my greens, right? So when you run out of your greens that you really like, you go to town and you get you some of this stuff, if you want to, and just squirt it in that little space. It'll dry out, and then your water's ready to go. Your watercolor's ready to go. Watch this. See, this one is dry. You can see it's dry. So I just go to that spot and I rub my wet brush over it. I could spit on it. And then I get that dark color again, and I just come back up in here. Now, I know you're going to ask me about this blue tape in just a minute. Don't just hold the phone. I got this all under control. And I'm going to switch over here to my brown, and I'm going to brown in some of this part. It might be a little darker, And if it is, cool. It is. It can be cool. That would be wonderful. I love these. We should paint poppies. Yes. Will you come back? Because I feel that coming on. It's right here. It's right here. All right, now, what else do I need to do? Background. Now, what color could I put in my background? I've got quite a few colors on here. I have purple, I have blue, I have green, I have yellow. I don't have red. I have a wiggle of orange. I could do a gray background. I really could. I think that would be kind of pretty. I could do a little gray background. Maybe, no, I don't know. Dig it, dig it, dig it, dig it, dig it, dig it, dig it. Sometimes you have to think and look with your artist eye. I'm feeling the pink. I have a sweet little friend who loves pink. I'm going to dig out here and put some pink right around the edge. Just up in here. Now you could paint your background first if you want to. Or you can do this wonderfulness where you're just putting in a little pink, because it's that summertime beautifulness. And I come right up to the edge and I go right up in here. I'm going to come down. Isn't that gorgeous? What am I using a lot of? Paint? No. I am using a lot of water because, hello, this is watercolor. Therefore, use water. It's the rules I have not just made up. They've been there a million years. You can always get it darker. Sometimes you can always get it lighter. Paper towel, paper towel, paper towel. Keep those paper towels handy. In the area away from my painting, I'm giving it a little bit more color just because I think that kind of pops it up. See, I don't know, that kind of little dark right there. So if I don't like that, I get it wet, go back in, wetten it. If it still is too bright, I can transfer some of that pink color. Look at me moving that color over. What do you move the color over with? You can move the color over with a paintbrush. I bet that's what you said. Or you could pick it up. Oh, nice. Look at that. I'm pretty proud of that, aren't you? You know what I need to do? I need to do a splash. Now, this is all wet right now. So, you know, go fold your clothes or stir your noodles, whatever it is you need to do. And then come back and let's do a little splash of paint. We're going to splatter. Sometimes I call it snipe hunting. Snipe hunting is, you know, when you take the two sticks outside and you go wop, 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 wop. Well, you don't make that sound. I don't know what you make. I don't remember. Pss, 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 pss. And you hit the sticks together and you tell your friend who has a pillowcase to catch the snipes because that's going to bring them out. The snipes come out. when they hear those two sticks hitting together. And then you run away and you hide from the person with the pillowcase who's trying to catch the snipes. No, that's fun. Amy Racine and I used to do that a long time ago when we lived on Williams Drive. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I need to find her. I do. She was maybe going to live in Rhode Island. All right, that's pretty dry. If you hung with me that long, now I'm going to get a little black because everybody likes to do it. Get a little black on your brush and you're going to hit it. Tap, tap. I try to always hit it over to the side once or twice before I get on there because it makes big blobs. And I usually start in the corner. And I can make just a few little dots of watercolor splash. Isn't that cute? Now you can get a lot of watercolor and really have a party and dance. I would say play music. My very favorite music to listen to when I do whatever it is that I do is Deep Breakfast by Ray Lynch. Or 70s. Those are my go-tos. Did you drink while I was away? And yeah, I did. I'm almost in. We're going to get through this quarantine together. Hang in there. I'm going to show you a couple of things. If you want to hang out with me a little bit longer, I'm going to show you how to wash a dirty palette. Oh, I'm going to take this off too so you can see how beautiful this works. Look at this.